The nationwide teachers' strike has left thousands of children from public schools, especially KCSE and KCPE candidates, to bear the consequences of lack of a clear course of action. As teachers boycotted work over the failure by the government to effect the 50 to 60% pay hike, students go to class only to find the school in disarray with no teacher in classrooms for their attention. Teachers have vowed to go on with the nationwide strike despite Justice Nelson Abuodha's ruling that the strike be suspended for 90 days. An attempt by the teachers through their unions to have Justice Abuodha overturn his judgment was rejected after he declined to stay his judgment, urging teachers to comply with his directives first before seeking other orders.
The current dismissal.
They would stand tall and respected if they asked their members to resume duties while they, as elected officials, pursue their legitimate rights as ordered by my judgment on September 2015. In conclusion, I decline to stay or make any comment on my orders issued on September 2015 until all parties comply in those aspects not subject to the proceedings in the Court of Appeal, and more importantly, that the respondent members resume duties as ordered by the court. That's the order of this court. Awareness, Trust, and 8 others versus the 8.
Justice Abuodha directed teachers' unions to respect the court and order their members to resume class for the 90 days. His orders came even as the Salaries and Renumeration Commission told the 5-judge bench hearing the TSC appeal against teachers' contested pay hike that the Commission's mandate cannot be achieved if their advice on salaries for public servants is taken as an option.
Submitted that under Article 41,
the TSC can only do the job evaluation, if at all, for itself in respect of the Teachers Service Commission and its staff. But the SRC is doing a job evaluation of the whole of the public service, seeking to obtain an Article 10 evaluation. The learned judge, by doing this, was taking on a task which, number one, was allocated to another institution. Secondly, disregarding the principle that where there is a prescribed process by the Constitution or statute, other processes should not be used. That this does not take it.
While making submissions during the hearing of the contested teachers' pay hike dispute at the appellate court, Senior Counsel Perez Norje for the SRC told the court that Justice NDERI'S ruling that teachers should get a 50 to 60% pay hike should be dismissed as the court does not have the mandate to set salaries for public servants. Norje argues that Justice NDERI'S ruling was not based on the advice of the Commission, as he ignored SRC and the National Treasury advice when making his ruling.
The party, then the employer and the TSC is also mandatorily obliged to play the prescribed part, to play its prescribed part to achieve the SRC and Constitution's object. I hope, my Lord, that
Norje told the 5-judge bench that TSC cannot increase salaries for teachers without consulting SRC, as TSC and public servants are bound and obligated to follow SRC advice.
It is this court that should be more outraged than anybody else. It is this court that must assume the obligation of protecting the authority, the majesty of court judgments and court orders.
no other party than the employer and the
Justice NDERI in his ruling stated that TSC is not bound by SRC's advice, but TSC Senior Counsel Paul Mwite claimed that Justice NDERI'S decision had beaded by the Constitution since it was the jurisdiction of the Labour Relations Court to settle pay disputes. Hearing of the case continues at the same court on Monday and Tuesday.
prosecute his action